I logged on to with my friend. My friend logged on to a server. You know how when the servers are desynced,
Yeah.
where the contaminated events are still active, even though they're not. It's literally level 8 contamination underground.
Yeah,
Now
that's. I would figure
do
that
you
the devs would have seen that and done something about it, but no, they really.
that's an old issue.
I mean,
You know,
it doesn't seem like it would be that much to actually fix it though. Like, just
isn't it like
make
a
it.
server timing issue?
Yeah, it's a server desync.
Yeah, it's just the server's desynced. You know what I mean?
But I mean, then again, also when the game first came out, people were, using aimbots and wall hacks and what have you, and that was causing server desync too.
No,
Like,
but nobody was doing that on this server. This was just natural.
yeah, it just means that it's a crappy server. It probably the server timing probably got jacked up, and then they didn't really do anything to resolve the
Now,
issue.
wouldn't that just be like a server coding? That'd be like NT.
Maybe.
Come this way. Okay, do you see any adventures to do?
Yes.
Go pull them.
So, is she level 8 yet?
Level 6.
Hmm.
Fuck off, let me pull this shit.
Okay, so go pull one of these adventures that's here. And I have a question though. I'm sorry, why did Ubisoft switch their stuff from regional servers? This was about in November of 2016, right? Why did they switch from regional servers to like VPN?
Your guess is as good as mine. Probably cost-related issues.
Do you remember when they did it? It was about can't remember. It was one of the first really big Uplay patches they did. They switched the connection so you could be slingshotted all the way across the world. What is the first open server?
I see, and I disagree with that. It should keep players in their local region.
But it doesn't.
Ubisoft has enough. They could just run all their games on their regional servers. Like, even if it was just like a single data center in New York or a single data center in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Like, that would deal with US East. You have one data center in, like...
That's the same. Chicago.
I mean, and that's just...
It's...
No, not Chicago.
Traditionally, what? Isn't it like...
Chicago is the worst
Northeast,
connection you can get in this game, period. Chicago is the worst. For somebody trying to connect US East and winds up connecting to Chicago, it is cancer.
No, okay,
to play on.
okay.
It's the most
US
laggy
East,
desync
right?
server ever. I don't understand.
Okay, isn't most server centers traditionally like up towards Chicago?
No. No.
In the Midwest?
No. No, they're not. Data centers are everywhere, dude. But as far as like most gaming,
it for a while.
no, it never was. There is a data center in Chicago, outside of Chicago. There's one outside of Detroit. There's Ashburn, Virginia, New York City, Atlanta. I mean, major cities have data centers. But the way that these companies are utilizing the resources that are available to them is very poor.
Bad.
Yeah, it's poor management of their own resources.
I'm not. This is not just Ubisoft.
I mean,
this is all companies. This is all companies.
I mean, we'll take Sonics for the thing. I love Rocket League. The game is fun when it runs properly. Like
this way. When
the servers are not horribly desynced and the hit detection is garbage because somebody on a 1.3 gigabit fiber line, aka me, with a 8 to 4 ms to New York average,
Jessica
is like
Come this way.
getting 40 to 50 ping in that game at all times with about 15 to 30% packet
Fire
loss
little
on some
ghosts.
servers. And then they wound up getting rid of their priority servers for ranked, and they have now what is obviously virtual servers or VLANs. It just shows, like, when you make multi or tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars a year, on a game like Rocket League or the Division or something like that.
StarCraft even.
Well, that's Activision took over Blizzard Entertainment, and it's gone to shit. Like, Diablo Immortal is a good example of the cash grab antics of Activision, and I feel so strongly against Activision in my own personal beliefs that they are the epitome of greed in corporate America. Like, they need to disappear. They don't need to be a company. They don't need to exist in 2018.
Now,
Straight up, like the way that they're so greedy and making money these days is just, it's not resemblant
Activision
of.
is about the money, but see, I can't forgive Activision.
I can't.
Activision literally shut down Westwood Studios. They caused one of this is old, like old.
Yeah, you
style.
see, but that doesn't matter when it's the thing is that anybody who partners with Activision winds up becoming their little Ponzi scheme bitches. Like, it's fucking stupid.
Where are you?
Who, me? Or her?
You're underneath.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like Activision at all. Like,
no.
The game developers themselves should be the ones making the decisions behind how a game is run, how a game is played.
There.
And there should be no publisher that gets in that way of that. Like, all a publisher should do is publish the game, you know? Activision Publishing is the name of the company. Like, publish the fucking game and let the damn developers do the rest. Like, stop being like, you have to have microtransactions in your game. Just stop. Like, people don't want the shit.
Or rushing games.
People only the people who, like, feel that they need to have, like, these fucking weird in-app purchases or what have you agree with the fact that there's microtransactions in it. But for gamers in general, we don't want that shit. Nobody wants it. Like, it's toxic and it's garbage.
Why do you think Anthem, when the developers did Anthem, right?
Anthem, I have a feeling, due to it being an EA being their publisher, like, I have a feeling that game's gonna fall flat on its face. I really do.
I think initially.
I feel like initially it's gonna get good. It's gonna be received very well.
Because it is a beautiful game. It looks beautiful.
That's fine, but gameplay and overall story.
Now the beta is supposed to either been done or been starting. Going to start. Like,
and you know it's.
But I'll say this though, when you get into the actual part of what Anthem, the people who did Anthem, now this was concerning, was the people who did Dragon Age. They went to EA and said, let us design the game. We will give you a product.
And I mean, that's what it should be.
We will give you a product. But then EA came in with very unrealistic expectations. The lead guy who was designing Anthem, this is why Anthem got a lot of good praise, and they said we would wait for it.
Well, I mean, realistically speaking, like, even we used to hate. Think about it this way: we used to hate Ubisoft because of their fucking antics and the way that they've been doing games for probably the last decade. And everything like that. But even they're seeing that the trend even with their own player base and the people who are buying their games, still playing their games, is going more towards allow the developers the creative freedom they need to create the game that they envision. Because if it comes out exactly how they envision it, it's going to make you money. period. Like, people are gonna buy the game. They're gonna see that it's a decent title, and they're gonna
Now,
their friends are gonna buy it, and then next thing you know, you've got something that is truly deserving of the saying AAA title. Okay,
now, and this
and
is a thing
and as a
too.
publisher, all you have to do is support that. Like, really,
Uh,
you're gonna make money as a developer.
yeah,
Or
and
as a
here's the
developer,
thing too.
you're gonna make
And
money
this
as
is
a
what
publisher.
got Anthem. Now, when that guy left,
Anthem is. I'm not even taking Anthem into account right now because it's not even a
it's
finished.
like it's every company. I'm just using Anthem as an example. Then EA realized Anthem could be a really good rehab image for them.
It could be.
And then
It
team, and they got back the team for it.
it could be. It could turn out really good, or it could fall flat on its face. That's going to ultimately come down to EA. Realistically.
Or you could be like Star Citizen and be in permanent game development.
Well, I mean, and Star Citizen has come a long way though from where it was. I played Star Citizen just recently, and it is miles beyond where it was a year ago. It is a crowd-funded type development process, and they're
Well, yeah, I
and they're
know.
very
The
and they're
people-
very and they're very open with the public about how they're going about doing it. Like, there is no, oh, you might have to spend $120 to get these items in a game, and this is subject to change before release. Whereas, like, Star Citizen's like, yeah, you're gonna have to spend $120 on a fucking ship. This money is going towards the development of the game, and you get to keep the ship as long as you play the game. Period. Like, once you buy it, you own it. And by pledging support through the early development like this, you are, guaranteed your name in the credits and
It
whatever
makes me
later on down
sometimes
the road.
wonder, like, how did games like Eve make it?
Eve Online is its own thing. Like, it hits a very niche player base, if that makes any sense. Like, I like the concept of Eve. I just don't like how it's implemented, which kind of turned me away from it. Like, and there'll be diehard Eve players that will disagree with me all day long. Like, I just
barely missed that stupid thing.
But I mean, these days it comes down to the publishers giving unreal expectations to the developers, and the developers either meeting those expectations or risking being like Westwood Studios and getting shut down.
Yeah, and I mean, they let... Now, I'm not saying Microsoft was really bad. They did not let... The reason why you haven't seen another, like, Command and Conquer was most part because Assemble, they did not give Assemble support. Like, I want a good RTS game. I really want another good one.
I want a
I
don't want a StarCraft 2. I don't want a StarCraft remaster. I don't want a StarCraft 2 remaster. I want a StarCraft 3, but it comes with the feel of the original StarCraft. Not the necessarily the whole hype train behind that could possibly be, but I'm saying like a true nitty-gritty RTS strategy. No more of this 12 probes at the start, 12 drones at the start, whatever bullshit. Like, make you actually have to manage your economy. Make it worth saying, oh, I'm a talented, skilled player at this game. Because right now, all the talented players went back to StarCraft 1 as soon as they remastered it. And now StarCraft 2 is full of a bunch of fucking Smurfs and kids that don't know how to play. It's the reason why the 2v2 population in that game has dropped into the negative digits, and why nobody outside of the 1v1 community, really nobody does anything on the game. The chat is the most important. The chat is the most active thing.
Co-op is still alive.
And that because it hits the spot for players who were just looking for that kind of experience. But as for somebody who played since 2010, to see them go free to play was like a slap in the face. And
yes, it was.
Like, I'm okay with the whole skins. I feel like the game should have released with skins.
My server connection to them is like 200 ms.
That sucks.
That's ridiculous. I looked at it one day, and I'm like, the
highest I ever saw was to the North America server, or the US East for StarCraft 2 was 125, and I didn't bother to do any I didn't really bother to do anything on that as soon as I saw that.
No, I think
just
it fluctuates, but even today, I'm like, but this goes to a lot of like I don't know if I can trust, and this is where I think Skill Up straight up asked him, but the developers talked to the lead developer of Massive, who was very cryptic about the anti-cheat in the programming.
I feel like Massive
didn't
needs
wanna
to be
say-
completely open with the player base and the people.
Massive, he asked him because he all but said to him,
I mean, you don't.
we blame Massive for the failure of Division. We do not blame Ubisoft.
We should blame both of them equally. It's the developer and see, the publisher should have realized that there was something wrong with the game and then put their foot in the developer's ass and been like, hey, you need to fix this. Instead,
we
they
blame
kind of just
Ubisoft. We
they
said
just
part
kind of
of it
sat
was
there and were
Ubisoft.
like, you know, the Division 1 wasn't what they envisioned it. Like, even dev streams and things like that after the Division 1 was released, they were like, this isn't what we envisioned the game to be. This isn't what we wanted. And now...
No, and then they brought Red Storm in. Red Storm actually made good changes. Even though Terry is not a... they should have nerfed Striker a long time ago. But...
Striker should never have been given heal on...
Oh no, Striker on the PTS.
They could have let...
We all said it was broken.
Well, see, for Striker in general, like, it should have never have gotten the health regen from getting hits. To stack 2 health for every 2 health and 2 damage for every shot, up to 100% per second. That's basically giving a player who isn't going to miss most of his shots, at least on PC. Most people don't miss their shots. You're basically giving them invulnerability.
I'm gonna need your help.
And
it was
then they did Nomad, and Nomad was broken. And when I say broken, I mean broken. Busted. Like, I procced on my Nomad build alone.
I solo came in and you ignored him. Ignored him.
Ignored him. He didn't say anything. He but
I said hello to him. I'm gonna speak up. Didn't know he was here. No, but seriously, yeah. And like, here's the thing. And then they brought what, Chromatic in or whatever it's called.
I wouldn't mind the Division 2, and I'll probably still get it just because I really like the concept of the Division. Like, the gameplay to me is very fun and very enjoyable. And I like, even if I'm not wanting to PvP or whatever, but that was the major draw point for me when I bought this game in the beginning, was the Dark Zone being a wide open PvP experience, where I could just go in, see a player, and just dump on them in the most toxic way possible.
Now, and this is what I say about Division, you couldn't duplicate it. But to me, I'm not against it. Like, I don't think they understood what they opened up when they did open world PvP.
I feel like they should have had 2 clients. They should have had one that was full open world PvP, like, period. But you get better gear, you get better items, and all of the like for playing in a full PvP environment. Like, you get rewarded for doing it. And then they have a PvE world where you can still and allow the items to carry over between the two. You know? That would be the best, to be honest, because then you are able to progress no matter how you look at it.
I just see stuff I've never seen before.
You won't need, and that also takes away, like, you don't need to rebalance gear sets. Weird. You don't need to rebalance gear sets and the like in a PvP or in a PvE world.
Above Trossland. It's like right up here, this building or something. It's like right here. It's like right there. I just never seen that before. And I'm up here. I'll play this. It's like tank that's over there. I'm like, I've just never seen that before.
Those are water towers.
It's on the other side on the water towers. It was like, what the hell is that crap?
Oh, the big giant. Okay. Yeah.
Why is this a thing? Why did I jump over that?
Like, the thing too is, it's like if you look at a game, right? I think when the developers envisioned Division, I think they wanted a game. Come down here. I think they wanted a game that could. They could just add on to it.
I don't disagree. I mean,
I think they wanted a game to be like Seed, where you could just add to it until you had to do something else. Rainbow Six style.
I could see how a developer would want that, because then you have basically endless support for a game.
You could have done. We started off in New York City. We could have gone to like Chicago or something.
Yeah, and that'd have been. I'd have preferred that over what we got now, to be honest. Like that.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
They would have provided more content. You know, content is what people want. They want, especially in an MMO game, they don't want to hit the level cap within the first week of playing, or first 2 weeks of playing. We'll say 20 hours total.
What?
They don't want to hit the level cap that quick, and be left with nothing to do. Like that, and that was the problem that ran a lot of people away from the Division early on. Was they hit the level cap, they were like, "Oh, I'm level 30. Now what?"
I thought it was the hackers but
on PC for sure. On PC, the hackers ran a lot of people away.
Like a dual issue that Division ran into. All games run into it. How do you deal with the guys that burn through the content? They go, "Oh, I'm in Call of Duty. I'm Prestige 5 within 5 days."
There was a guy he was Mastery level Prestige within 48 hours of the game coming out, and people were like, "How?" I still wonder how, but he apparently was legit because they had never banned him for it. Then again, I wouldn't.
I just lived there. You just lived there for 3 days. I looked at a guy on Battlefield, like he was like when Battlefield 1 was released. The guys who had it for 3 days were like level 50 in like 3 days.
Yeah, I mean,
like
those people, that's borderline insanity in comparison to the average gamer. Even the hardcore gamer is less than that. Like that's a whole nother level. You can't compare those people's opinions of what they're doing in comparison to the average player base. Like you just can't, because I play a total of probably, I don't know, 4 hours a day.
Yeah, and that's very different than
Monday
the people
through Friday.
who, as I said, I know there's a difference of the people who play like the Division or played it. A lot of us that did, because we knew it was going to be online. Like, there's a portion of the community that was never that bad, but if we lived there for like a while, we broke into the stats. We're not saying
what the Division needs is 8-man fire teams, 8 or 12-man fire teams for raids. They need better end game content, like higher drop rates for raids. Like you should be incentivized to do raids. Period. Like when they released Falcon Lost, they were like, "Oh yeah, that's how you get the best gear in the game." But realistically,
Falcon Lost was horrible.
Like literally, all you had to do to get the same gear was run DZ and run from boss to boss in the DZ, killing everything. That was it.
You know how, but you know how hard Falcon's Lost was?
Yes, I remember it. I remember the fact that the only way for us to really get through was to just continuously die, kill a few enemies, and just continue this process of death and BS over and over and over again.
And this was before it was checkpointed.
Yeah, before it was checkpointed, and like they still didn't have an anti-cheat into the game at that time. So people were wall breaching into the ceilings and shit and shooting.
Well, we could get to the carrier on the other side, or a building on the outside of it. No, that's what they did. No, but
I did like that they released the Division with proper controller support. That made me happy because I bought a controller just so I can play this game.
Now, I mean, when you're talking in general, I agree. Developers, I don't know, all need a kick in their ass. Every one of them.
I mean, not every one of them. There are some developers that are just what?
Publishers and developers both.
Publishers need to understand that if they abuse the people that buy their games and they buy their shit, like eventually people are going to get wise to it and start boycotting or start banning their shit. Like I'm I'm never gonna buy another Activision title. Like, I have no reason to. It's a cash grab. It's a waste of my time. Because ultimately, a year from after I buy, say, another Call of Duty or what have you,
There's gonna be something else. It's like everyone
Yeah,
bought new Call of Duty thinking it was different when
it released with 20 hertz fucking servers. Like, nobody wants to play on 20 hertz servers when your beta is 60 hertz, and then during your beta, you were hinting at 120 hertz servers. Like, don't fucking do that to your players. Seriously, if you're gonna release a game and not meet the minimum promise, at least meet the standard that you showed during your fucking tech demo of the beta. Seriously.
No,
Because that's all that the beta was a tech demo.
You know the only reason Destiny survived its basically quote-unquote virgin year? You know why? Because, okay, the first year, it released with... Bungie realized there was issues. They recoded the game down to its core. Then rebuilt it. Actually, but they kept the servers up.
See, the thing is Destiny feels exactly the same to me now as it did a year and a half ago.
Now I'm
It feels
talking
the
the
same.
original Destiny. That was the only reason the original Destiny was saved. The reason why people still play Destiny at all. Like,
I don't know.
now, I was hoping that, and I said this to players, I think I said this on the forums, you massive should have done within the first year before releasing Division 2,
Well,
do a top to bottom recode of the game.
Well,
They should have
that's
done
the
it.
reason. That's the reason they're not updating the Division 1 anymore. Is because they apparently have hit a
They
stone
never
wall
tried it.
in their
They
game
said
engine,
you could have
and they
kept
had
the
to.
main game. Do you remember how Siege nearly didn't survive its first year?
Do you know why there are very few hacks in StarCraft 2 these days? I mean, I'm not going to say they're not there anymore, because they are, but do you know why it's so uncommon to see somebody hacking in StarCraft 2? It's because of how they encrypt the memory in the at the CPU level.
But how do you have people who have bots that play for you?
What, in StarCraft? You don't.
Uh-huh.
You don't. It doesn't work
I thought
like
they
that.
did.
The
I
game
thought they
engine,
did.
the game engine now requires direct user input. Like, you can't use the auto hotkey to bot for you. That's not how it works.
Yeah, but that was really bad for a while.
I mean, yeah,
Someone-
there were botters, or like, there used to be botters. There used to be map hackers.
That would play that would actually play for you when you were there, weren't there.
I mean, you could script, realistically, you could script anything. But is it going to intelligently play the game as if you were? I'm going to say no. Because
No.
at a certain point, a player will always beat a bot at a certain point.
Yeah, because I could see it. It was
I can-
one.
I can solo 8 elite AI by myself in that game, no problem. Like, that's...
Come out the way and here.
Botting in that game only made sense if you were below platinum. You know? Because then you could set yourself for like an elite AI and just leave. Go to work, go to school or whatever, and then come back and you've probably
And this
won
was back
50%
when they
of your-
first did it, I think, Ascension, and I saw it, you know.
This is, but I'm talking back before they even had co-op as a thing. Before co-op was even a glimmer in their eye.
Thank you.
You know?
It's good to know you're out there.
Early 2011.
And there was something, it got to a point so bad, they mentioned that there were botters in the game playing for people. And I looked it up. It was possible, but it wasn't a really known thing. Now that the fact, I think a lot of shit happened when Blizzard took, like, Vivendi.
This dude just
Right.
died. What the fuck?
Like, what were we saying? When you get to, like, Vivendi, right? I think they let themselves, like, what, Vivendi bought StarCraft? Or Sierra? That spelled the doom for it, because what,
Valiant
StarCraft
Chaos.
2 took 10 years. for them to
I
publish.
see, and then they
10
they
years.
got pissed off because people were complaining their esports teams were basically just complaining nonstop about fucking map hackers and shit. And so they decided to make an example out of Valiant Chaos. Like, yeah, we make bots for fucking StarCraft 2. We make map hacks. We do this. We do that. And they were pretty open about it, and a closed community type deal for Valiant Chaos. And Blizzard sued the shit out of them. You know, because Blizzard. And I get it, like, you're ruining a player base by doing something like that, but
Do you remember how bad the original StarCraft got?
I don't
Remember how?
I don't
bad?
have any bad memories growing up playing StarCraft 1. Like,
No. Do you remember how bad it actually did get at one point?
I mean,
It wasn't
the lowest
horrendous,
the
but-
lowest the player base ever was when I was growing up was like one morning I got on at about 2 o'clock in the morning, and there was about
No, that's why you always ask.
30,000 players online. That was the lowest I ever saw the original StarCraft.
Like I logged in. I saw like 30 or 40,000 people were playing StarCraft 2 the other day, last week or so.
The highest I ever saw StarCraft 2 was right after release, or for the first year after release. There was an average of about 500K on every day, which was really good. A really good distribution of skill in the ladder, and it was just enjoyable to play at that point. But then as time progressed, like there wasn't any saving it over time because, you know. Yeah,
Come this way.
Just go, Jessica. Just go. He's not gonna stop for you.
What?
She needs
I'll
to take
stop.
a leak.
Okay, we'll go. I'll wait for her. Right. Go. I didn't hear her. So. No, but I like StarCraft, but I didn't really like what.
Fish feeding over there.
Like I don't like what. I kind of don't like what they did to I don't like StarCraft 2. Like I really feel that the whole balance bullshit they should have fixed. Yes,
I feel like
know.
every time we get into a good spot with StarCraft 2, some fucking pro streamer somewhere or professional player goes and starts complaining about some bullshit fucking excuse of a meta change that needs to happen. You know, first it was Widow Mines were overpowered, and the nerfs to Widow Mines were decent. You know, after they shoot, they're revealed and you can kill them. But the splash damage reduction on Widow Mines was kind of garbage. Like, they didn't need to do that. They just needed to make it so that Widow Mines range was reduced. They needed to add damage fall off over distance. A lot of units require that. Like, I think the only unit that doesn't need damage fall off over distance would be fucking Ghosts. Like, and I don't think it would be too difficult to set a damage fall off over distance in that game. Like,
Well, what was it when they didn't nerf Ghosts?
now they're buffing battle cruisers. They're buffing battle cruisers. They're buffing Thors. They're buffing Terran really hardcore. Battle cruisers can now shoot while fucking moving, aka broken as fuck. Colossus can shoot while moving. Again,
I noticed that the other day.
Tempest now costs as much as Phoenix, but do less damage over time, I guess you would say. I don't know. You just get the fucking upgrade for it.
To me, it feels like it's not like when you had to balance out like Age of Empires 2 when you have a whole bunch of unique
carriers lose their graviton catapult to allow the fucking interceptors to shoot out all at once. That's a bad change, actually. I feel like that's the worst change they could do, because you're gonna have.
That's why I saw someone with carriers. That explains what carriers. I saw a guy use carriers, and I'm like, those carriers are not like carriers I remember.
No, but the graviton catapult is the only good thing about carriers, because literally anything can kill a carrier in that game. A dozen Marines could take down a carrier. Like, there's no incentive now to use carriers as a Protoss, unless you have like critical mass and you've got like 40 of them. Like, and even then, I would rather I'd rather go 30 Void Rays and 20 Tempests at that point, and just walk through the fucking map. Because Void Rays do damage, are incredibly powerful. Just lasers OP. I love Protoss lasers. Like, they got 3 lasers that combine into 1 laser. GG noob.
Okay,
You know?
wasn't it?
But like, Terran getting a buff. Some buffs were needed. I agree. Other buffs weren't needed. They could have just left it the way it was. Zerg Ultralisks got a buff that allows them to move faster off creep, but they got debuffed in the amount of armor that they're allowed to have.
But isn't that why
some of these
everyone
multiplayer
pretty
changes?
much just went solid? Like, I mean, but wasn't it just normal? Like in co-op, you would still see Phoenix users, especially use carriers.
Yeah, because
But
the nerfs
are still.
the nerfs in are in multiplayer, not in co-op. Co-op, they nerf the characters themselves and some of the character abilities, which I don't feel that that's necessary at all. You don't need to nerf character abilities to balance out a fucking co-op mode. That's realistically just like you don't need to change anything with co-op. Add a character. Each character is going to have their plus sides and downsides as it is. There's going to be no character, they're adding Zeratul. I guarantee you a month after they add Zeratul, they're going to debuff one of his abilities. They're going to nerf him a month after. Guaranteed. Because they nerfed Tychus recently, and it's about a month after his release. 2 months after his release. So, and now I wouldn't use Tychus. Like, everything that drew me to him in the first place to play it's gone.
Taking his armor with him?
Yeah, reducing his base armor from 1 to 0 and reducing his base rate of fire. And then the only thing they could do really to put the coffin or the nail in the coffin there is reduce his damage per shot from 25 to 15 if it isn't already.
Did you get him mastered at all?
Tychus? I'm
Yes.
at level 11 on him.
I got him mastered, and finally, and I need to.
I'll tell you, my favorite one to master was Alarak. Alarak is insanely fun. Mostly because of his overpower. Raynor was pretty easy. Artanis has his own advantages, but I've heard
Artanis is basically Warp Gate City, dude. That's what it is.
Yeah, warp harmonization on every building gives you fucking warp in.
Basically, you build like a prism somewhere, and each
thing gets 3 stacks
down.
You build 1 fucking Stargate, and you can warp in 3 Tempests off 1 Stargate. GG. Get wrecked.
But it only has, 3 charges?
3 charges. Well, you build 3. 3 is 9. It's 9 charges. That's 9 Tempests you can throw out at one time. And it's got each charge is the default cooldown of 17 seconds. It's fucking nothing, dude.
Oh.
Like, if you're really wanting to get out a large army stupid fast, play Artanis. He is the Zerg of Protoss.
Ooh.
You're gonna level up better over here, because this is the higher level area.
Shoot it, Jessica.
It's not shooting. How do I shoot with the thing?
Your trigger.
Oh, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just sitting here in the base of operations, not really knowing what to do. I need a power level to 30, which I feel like 30 being the max level, and then all the gear going up to 34. They should have just made the level scaled.
I thought they were supposed to do.
They should have just made it level 100 being the max, and the best gear in the game was level 101 or 102. But the rate that you get that kind of gear is super low, that a very small percentage of the player base has full sets at that level. Like,
Yeah,
they could have added more support to the Division and made it actually worth the shit. But and I play it because I like it. Like the whole Division it's an interesting concept and it works pretty well.
I
You know?
don't think it was that badly of a designed system because to me it was like an ARPG. So I like it. It has that feature.
They need to eliminate the whole Division tech thing in this game. Period. Like that to upgrade your weapons over
Didn't
here.
they? Okay, but
This
didn't they
should honestly
kinda
cost
just nerf that? Division Tech did shit for a long time.
Division tech 50 Division tech per upgrade or per optimization is ridiculous. To update or to upgrade an entire 6-piece set is going to cost you around 800, 1,000, maybe
Look,
more, easily.
I'll warn you. I'll warn you. It's like ridiculous. Like
Yeah, that's unnecessarily expensive.
When they did that optimization,
Optimiza-
nobody has been at 4,000 Division Tech. Literally nobody.
Nobody, because you can't like I go in the DZ and I just run the cache routes to get the gold caches and purple caches, and I'll extract like once every fucking 5 to 7 minutes. Fill up my cache, like the stash space for fucking extraction. 30 items, really?
That
Like,
makes no sense.
that
When
makes-
it's like 9. It
Yeah,
should
you get
be
9 in your
36.
that means you're gonna eventually run out of. You're gonna have to destroy or dismantle objects, or go into a fucking area and empty out your stash before you can continue forward. That is the worst design choice ever, as far as that's concerned. Like, make it 10, and you can extract 3 times, and then you have to go. That makes sense. Or, just give it like 100.
Melee bitch.
Like, I'd rather it be an insanely large amount of space. But I think they were like, well, then people are just gonna extract items and leave them in there, sitting there. Like,
That's like stupid. There's like little
people-
stuff in the Division. I don't understand how it never got patched. Like,
I don't
explain
understand.
to-
I don't understand the
explain to
design
me
choice
how,
behind the stash. Like,
the
I've
what is it?
got an expansion stash, and I can't even, like, I've never used it. It's got 100 spaces. I've never used it once. I don't even know how to use it, and if I could use it, I would.
That's what's funny is the expansion stash is where the stuff is supposed to go. Literally.
And then extracted, that's 30 items that typically just sit there. And then a stash of 140 is insanely quick. Like, you
It's
can,
like if I don't do survival like through multiple characters, okay.
you can legit fill up 140 spaces inside of a stash just with Class C gear alone. Like, 6 pieces times what was it, 9 different classified sets? Or is it more? Is it like 14 classified sets?
Let's assume the realm
I can tell you right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Well, what is 6 times 14? Off the top of your head.
My buddy.
That's 84. That's 84 slots by
I'm
itself.
lost. Yeah,
Okay.
because I don't come down here enough.
All right, you start factoring in exotic gear and weapons.
This is where we came from. It's like the beginning area.
Yeah.
And over
well,
there is
there's-
where we got the
So-
cash.
Even if you have one piece for all of the 6, all of the classy sets, you're gonna have 56
Get my
slots.
exit out of here.
56 slots for weapons and
Actually, just
miscellaneous gear, like whether
Here
that
we go.
be.
It's up here.
Oh.
Do I have Phoenix credits in my inventory? I do. I have 1,100. Is she level 8 yet?
Yeah.
She's level 8, yes. And he's
Come on, bitch. Come on, bitch.
fly. Get to over here to there. Please still get her to 9, so she just go hang out on night.
I made it.
I have to switch characters to buy those. So dumb. No, I like the Division had a good vision. It just wasn't implemented correctly, and the game engine being released at launch without an anti-cheat buried this game basically. And even now, like I go into DZ right now and watch somebody using an RPM hack or a some kind of modification to make themselves better. Like there's
Fast travel to Trostland.
Oh shoot.
I'm gonna check my stream real quick on my phone. I've been streaming this whole time. Yeah, it looks good.
What are you waiting for?
I'm streaming the Division 1440.
How many views?
Probably none.
Fast.
Probably none. Yeah, nobody's in there. I'm just streaming the stream.
By the way, I like how basically all these streamers stream, but it's like nobody's like either talking in their chat. You don't see a.
All right, weapon kits. I don't need weapon kits. What is this? Where's the shit? What is that called? The blueprint for Division Tech, so I can convert 1-to-1. I don't need weapon kits.
What do I need to do now?
No big deal.
I don't need to convert Division Tech. I need to make Division Tech. Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the blueprint for the Division Tech? So I can go craft Division Tech.
Check the vendor.
The one in the
Check and see if you have it.
I did. I don't have anything to be able to.
Is it like at the very bottom, like it converts fabric? You don't have it.
I don't
Check
have
this.
I'm
check
at the crafting
vendor,
station.
though.
I'm at the
Okay, so
crafting
you don't
station.
have it. Go check the blueprint vendor. Both of them. It's a really old blueprint. I don't think that ever was taken out.
They see weapon kit for tools, weapon kit for weapon parts, weapon kit for electronics and fabric.
Okay, at the bottom, do you see where you convert?
No, it's not there.
When you're ready to buy,
I'll go to Camp Clinton and see if it's there.
Unless it's a time thing, too, because that's actually odd. There's a lot of them, because I've had that blueprint for so long. I don't even know.
I'll Google it.
Like, I don't even think, I mean, unless they took it out, and I doubt it. But
The Division.
Converting Division Tech. You should be able to convert Division Tech, but I don't know. Unless I can think of it, you can down there. It converts like converting your fabric.
Conversion of high-end materials into Division Tech.
Nice work over at the comm.
It was saying they had all this Division Tech and nothing to do with it. So the option was added to turn Division Tech into other high-end materials. Now the reverse is needed. We need the ability to convert thousands of weapon parts and fabric into Division Tech. If they did that, then they'd probably raise price optimization. So I think it's good the way it is. No, I personally think it should be doubled from the current. Loot boxes should have 2, and the sealed caches should drop twice the current range, as it takes forever farming Division Tech to fully optimize one set, let alone all of them. I also think the current options are very fair to people who don't like PvP, or aren't very fair. I needed to upgrade to 291 and got them one evening of focusing DT.
Don't be shy.
The optimization station should just be like an option to slowly progress, not to make better drops unnecessary. It's
Go ahead
already
and
fast.
go to Titan.
I hate how on Reddit people are defending the way the system is now.
Good luck out there. Can't keep doing this. If we'd lost the power plant, Manhattan would have been in a lot of trouble.
Let's see if I can get you.
Pretty much the only way to get Division Tech right now that's worth a shit is to run DZ. And just get the
Don't you have
caches.
crafting assignments every day?
Feel free to browse.
Every day is like crafting assignments.
Yeah, and that's
Nice.
25 Division Tech. That's a special equipment vendor. This is premium vendor. Where's the special blueprints vendor? That's the whole reason for coming here. AKM, 229 AKM. MK17.
Say
Knee pads, there's nothing in here. Extended magazine, blueprint.
I gotta go kill Sunless Captain.
Good luck out there. Yeah, thanks to you. A happy customer is the best customer.
Jessica, if you see an adventure over here or nearby, just pull it. You'll get the.
I think so. Don't you want to go for Jacob now?
Go to. I would say if you see it one of those adventures over here,
I'm coming.
I'll be back up. Terminus East. If you come back down here.
How do you get down there? Is it from...
I mean,
No.
where I am, I'm down here. Where if you go,
I see. I'm coming.
you go down Terminus East, which is through.
Here I am. Oh, wrong door.
I love how some of this stuff isn't rendering.
It does happen.
Classified Deadeye. I have a full set of Deadeye.
Oh, but there's a cache.
There is. All right. Now fast travel out to. Do you have any like adventure Trossland? Like any?
I'm not sure.
Like you see adventures in the EDZ, which are like orange flags.
Yeah, I'm not sure of any more right now.
Go to Titan. Titan, then really quick. I'll get you at least there. That's,
Pay off your credit card debt or credit card debt that you already solid in the other credit card debt area. Pay off student loan. One day, I'll talk about the student loan crisis and how it's that how fast one crazy. Pay off the IRS. You can pay off your medical bill. Pay off your home equity line of credit. You can pay off business loans. You can pay off home improvement loans. Pay off auto loans if they're high. But Russ, a lot of people are out there, they even have these.
Or you just don't get high interest auto loans.
yep. I don't know. It's interesting. It's like we're trying to sell our house. You know. This weather's horrible. I hate the winters. I really do. I don't like them.
I hate how you can't pre-fire a target in this game.
Additional hostiles inbound.
What? Pre-firing?
Yeah.
Go see if you can pull adventures over here.
Over where?
Pix. You seen the adventures here? Oh, should have a few. Adventures? They're like those orange flags. Like you should have vandals or something. It's like here. Or go look like they're little mini adventures.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I don't see any. They're like little flaggy thingies or even in the
Yeah, they look like little swords in the ground.
Yeah.
You don't see any like on your map? They're like
Nope.
one's called thieves or something.
Nope.
Stolen parts.
Nope. Nothing.
Means we'll have to do it the old fashioned way. At least you on the ED. When you look on the EDs, you see any adventures?
Hostiles incoming. Alert. Heavily armored hostile detected.
The map?
Yeah, go to destinations and look at EDZ. Those, like, go look at the map, like the way they have adventures.
I see now. I thought you were talking about like the ones that are on the ground that you would activate.
Not the public event ones.
No, not those. I know that those are, but like.
Or you pull them here. You should have a.
Ground. We have Thief of Guilds. Wanna do that one?
Just pull them here. They'll be at least higher.
This game is so glitchy.
Yeah. Didn't know that these were the things on the map too. No! Die, bastard! How did I get back up there? Fucking die, fuck.
Oh, did you?
Here, bitch.
Language.
Where's the next bitch?
Language.
Huh?
My virgin ears.
Oh, you a slut.
Knock it off. You're not cute. You're not funny.
Wow.
I wish I could just shoot this lock off.
Oh, I don't know. Jessica, come down here and get it. Here. The last one, take it to an arc. Take it to like the arc generator. I'll keep yourself off here. It's heroic. I still dread the memories I have of that when I have to. Really? I like having to do the. There you go. Here you are. Now I got two. Oops. Oh, we have a highlight target nearby. It's being an asshole. That's not that one. See that vision knife. Look at when you look at your gear, any gear you get that's better, just equip it.
Yeah, I know.
Alright.
I'm about to check out this weird thing that's going on with my map over here. And then I'm probably going to go make dinner.
Let's go get that fallen cash. Oh, look. Hi, bud. Ah. Over here is a chest. But the guy's like, what the fuck was that? Yeah, that's on the... Ah. But... So there's a chest here.
Hi, guys. Thank you.
There's a alkaline dust here, too, so...
Oh.
Okay, let me... Can't fast travel. Let me go get the bounties. See if you can... You might be able to buy the bounties, so... You know, Jacob, if all else fails, you know what you can do? You can go, you could go straight to, see if you can go buy the bounties up here from Sloan. You might be able to. You may have the planet unlocked.
Buy a bounty?
The little daily bounties.
Ouch.
If you have 250 glimmer, you know.
Yeah, I have 20,000.
Okay, so yeah, go buy them.
I did.
Give you like Alacane. They'll give you P2s. What works? You know, Jacob. If all else fails, you can go become an was it aircraft controller?
I'm not. I'm gonna be an aircraft
No.
controller. No.
Huh?
Nice joke, but no.
No. You wouldn't want to work in a tower directing planes?
No, I would not want to be air traffic control. They have the highest suicide rate of any fucking group.
Why?
It's
Good
an incredible.
God.
Literally, it's one of the most stressful jobs you can have, especially in the military.
Because you fuck up a plane?
You
You,
literally are managing like
at,
25
at
or
an
30
airport,
things.
right?
No,
Seabiscuit,
as an air traffic
airport?
at an air traffic controller, you're managing 25 or 30 things at one time, and you have the lives of everybody that you're telling or that you're instructing basically at your fingertips. Like if you fuck up, it's not good. You know, you're telling air traffic where to go, what to do, how to do it. You know, it's pretty important shit. And if you screw up, you could actually go to jail.
Yeah,
Because
especially if you work at like where I near DFW, like it's one of the busiest airports. Yeah, you have to watch.
I wouldn't want
like,
that. I went through tech school with a friend. The tech school I went to was the same location as the air traffic control school, and he got so stressed out in such a short amount of time. Like he was, when I first met him, he was like this happy-go-lucky person, and then by the time that he got discharged for being suicidal, like it was a completely different person. Like it changed him in a way that he didn't foresee, and neither did anybody else. Like,
really? That's interesting. I'm not saying it's odd.
no, I may not have the best job in the world, but my job itself I like.
Let me come in.
I just hate the rhetoric. I hate the politics. Get rid of those two things, and
Well, I mean, wouldn't you just be? God, why wouldn't you seem like a type? Maybe. Well, I mean, would you? There's a resource here. Wouldn't you be the type that you would enjoy like NSA work, CIA work? No.
no.
Eh.
I mean,
Like
realistically,
with it intelligently.
if it pays
JSOC?
decent, I'm for it. But I don't have a whole lot of patience for nonsense. I really don't. Like, I have to bite my tongue pretty much every day I go to work because of some stupid shit, and I hate it. I hate that feeling of having,
What do you mean, like
knowing
not
better,
policy?
and that shit still goes south, and then they all look and point fingers at each other instead of at the root of the cause.
Like you're talking about working in intelligence, basically,
Like,
right?
mm-mm.
You know what I mean?
No, I work in comm, but it's still the whole thing is just, it's pretty much the
Sure.
American way. Something fucking goes south, you just point fingers at the guy next to you instead of pointing fingers at yourself.
Or
Really,
you're
it's-
at the mercy of a job, you can't say shit.
Pretty much.
You couldn't even tell your wife what you do.
I mean, she's got a pretty good idea what I do.
Like honestly, like it'd be like him, you know. It's like, honey, how's your day? Can't realize, and he has to manage. He can't talk about it because what, you know.
Mhm.
You're running logistics for things.
That's why I don't ask. I just am here for him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, was your day okay? And yes or no. Okay.
Sometimes it's honestly just leave me alone.
Yep.
I sometimes have days like that.
And he'd be one of those people that get sick satisfaction of dropping drones on people.
Oh, yeah.
What, 6 satisfaction of air power?
Wouldn't get
I don't
satisfaction
think
from that.
that's I don't think that's called a sick satisfaction. I'm pretty sure that's just called
That's
patriotic
actually
boner.
it's a joke. The people who do the drone piloting.
Oh, it is a joke. They wear flight suits too, which is even more of a joke.
Open that so he'll get that.
They don't.
Really?
They don't actually fly, but they wear flight suits. It's kind of a joke.
Really?
They also receive flight pay and hazardous AOR pay, but they never leave the comfort of the United States.
They're taunting him. Okay, I can't die. God bless you. Here. Look at this. Here. Here, but I still get energy.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna go to the terminal and then I'm gonna stop the stream. I'm gonna go make dinner and then I'll be back. Hopefully by then you'll be able to power level me.
Yeah, more than likely, yeah. So must just here.
You are now
Da,
in a safe
bitch,
area.
da.
Language.